Welcome everybody to Web3 Sales Gym. Today we have an amazing guest with us, Glenn Rachlin. Right now he's with Blockade and he knows something about the LinkedIn game. Glenn, welcome to the show. Let's do the thing. Let us know what you're looking to share with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super appreciate it.
Amazing. So today we're going to talk about building brand. Brand is a superpower. It's a long-term game that not a lot of people want to start building. You started a couple of years ago. You already seen the space. You have a lot of followers. Actually, I've been following you, and I was watching how you are doing content. I really like how you interact with your follower base. And when I hop on calls with people, they know about you. Like they know about you. They tell like sometimes I tell them that you use their product, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we actually know Glenn. We're gonna talk with him. We're gonna ask you about something, etc., etc." So it's a big asset. It's the more people that know that about you, the more people like actually the more opportunities you can attract. So I wanted to chat with you and encourage everybody to start building their own brands on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or just start doing anything. So without further ado, the first question would be, what are the tangible and intangible benefits that you have seen from doing brand on LinkedIn?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think it gives you a lot of access to people that might not normally want to chat with a stranger online. It by having legitimacy and social proof that people know who you are, you're followed, your content is useful to others. It's kind of like a digital trust. So lots of people look at your profile, and the first thing they see is the number of how many people follow you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just naturally where your eyes go. It happens on Twitter. So I think I can connect with people. People connect with me. Sometimes people I want to talk to connect with me. It's
Yeah,
like they come to me. It's crazy.
exactly.
And it happens a lot more recently. So it's really nice. I get to have incredible conversations. I meet a lot more people than I'd ever normally meet. Today I had lunch with somebody that I met on LinkedIn. I'm constantly meeting a lot of people. I'll get some benefits from companies that I talk about. So the other day I posted about Teleport. They didn't
I've
pay
seen
me
it.
or anything like that. It was a post that did really well. And some of the people from there reached out to me, and I spoke with them, and they gave me an invite code to share with people. I've gotten a Milk Road t-shirt
Yeah.
their newsletter. They sent me a bunch of t-shirts and stickers and stuff like that. So yeah, there's some, I guess, little benefits you get like that. But I think for BD and go to market, it really smooths the conversations that you can have with people, or the beginning parts of the conversations. It smooths out that like intro
Mm-hmm.
period a bit, and kind of people are more open to talking to you. So I'd say those are some of the benefits.
Very cool. I agree with you 100%. It adds you like another avenue for the conversation. So they don't see you just like a sales guy or the BD rep from company XYZ. You also have other things that you do, that you like, that you explore. And if you see that it's not appropriate for you to start the conversation as the BD rep, you start it as the guy who posts on LinkedIn, and then you take it from there. Very cool. Now, that's the constant thing. Like a lot of BDs will be thinking and listening to this right now, and they will be thinking, LinkedIn, what? LinkedIn? Why LinkedIn? Like we should do Twitter. So we just chatted with you before the interview, me and you, and we are LinkedIn people. What are your reasons to choose LinkedIn over the Twitter to start building the brand there?
Yeah, it's a big topic. I think for me, it really comes down to what your goals are with content and building relationships. I spend a lot of my time working. I like work and with
Yeah.
my kids, and I sleep. That's basically my whole life. And I think a lot of people in LinkedIn are working, and they want to see content about things that are interesting and educational and not sort of inappropriate for a working environment, or distracting almost from a learning type
Mm-hmm.
of environment. So on Twitter, there's a lot of incredible, but way better content than you can actually find on LinkedIn, I think. But there's
Yeah.
also a lot of noise, and a lot of Twitter can become overcome with noise, and people who are commenting are also kind of out for blood. They're looking to start arguments and start disagreements, and not be collaborative and
Mm-hmm.
open with each other. that's not true for everything, but it can be true for some things. On LinkedIn, I feel like the mindset is less fight and more learn. So I to share, I started doing this stuff, sharing what I learned about crypto and Web3. And I would write my own notes and listen to podcasts and read articles and talk to people, write down notes. And then I said, how about I just post these notes online? And I started doing that. And I got reached out to by people at, consulting companies and Google and Amazon and different kinds of big cloud companies. And they're, oh, this is super helpful. Have you heard about this? And then I just learned that way. So LinkedIn was just a very natural place to do that because I wanted to talk to people like me who are learning about it, who are professionals. There's also a lot of those people on Twitter, but not really. Most of my coworkers at Amazon back in 2015 to 2020, almost nobody used Twitter. Everybody is on LinkedIn. So I chose it because that's where the professional people that I work with, I know they are. Not everybody's on Twitter. There's also a lot of distractions with other topics that have nothing to do with what I'm interested in. So that was really why I chose LinkedIn.
I agree with you. I think that people should really choose on who they're really working with. So if you do something that's super new, like, I don't know, liquid staking protocol, and you start posting on LinkedIn, people won't understand what you're doing, but you would be understood on Twitter, and it makes more sense for you to do Twitter. Me and you, we have more, I would say, traditional Web3 background, not on the verge of the, the degen. We're more on the stuff where it's more with companies, corporates, professional, all that stuff. So this made more sense for us. Now, the question is, how do you start? How the first step is the hardest one. How did you do? What kind of recommendation would you give to other people?
Yeah, I don't know if I started in a traditional way that everybody else normally would have, but I literally wrote down a personal goal to start posting on LinkedIn. I started, taking some of the notes that I written down and started kind of reformatting them for LinkedIn content. And then I had a child, and I put a calendar date when she was about a year old to start posting. I took a training course and then I started posting on that day, and I posted every day since then, about a little over 3 years ago. So I planned this out completely. Amazing. I had it ready to go. I chose a date and started. It was kind of people who say, I'll start dieting tomorrow, but I actually started to do it. And I committed to it, and I made sure to continue posting every day, at least once a day. And yeah, you can ask me this question, but that's really the secret, is just to post and not stop posting. People will interact with you. Things will happen eventually. It takes a really long time. But over time, if you post good content, 100%, your follower count will grow. People want to chat with you. People find you interesting. There's other people, people listening to this that want to interact and want to help and learn and work with each other. So yeah, that's really how it was done.
Consistency is the key. It beats anything.
Yep.
Okay.
1,000%.
That makes sense. So the consistency, I can tell you how the consistency is on my end. It was the same. At a certain moment I was okay, I want to do this thing about Web3 sales. Then I chose the date, 1st May 2023. I'm okay, since this moment I'm posting 2 videos per week, 2 LinkedIn posts per week, and then I'm just doing it. No excuses. I just do it. And then on the weekend I sit down, I plan the post, I record the videos, I plan them for the next week, and that's basically a part of the routine. Now, in the next couple of maybe 2 months ago, I started doing video every day. I started just doing shorts and then posting shorts on LinkedIn as well. Now, a lot of people find consistency is the hardest part, because this is in the beginning when you start doing the thing, you have this spike in excitement and hormones, and then you have a big drop down, and basically nothing happens 99% of the time. You need to keep the marathon, and then finally, boom, you have an overnight success and everybody's happy. So what's the main thing for you? How do you explain yourself? Why do you need to do it when you don't want to do it?
Yeah, I think it's not as much motivating myself to do it is a little different than trying to go through having a goal of getting followers. I think for me the goal is to learn and to write down what I learn and then to share it, because ultimately it'll help me remember it better, and teaching others is a great way to learn about things. And the way that I convince myself to continue posting even when posts don't get a lot of likes, or there's a lot of little interaction, or I write something stupid and I'm embarrassed about it. The way I keep going is because I want to keep learning, and I'll invest time into learning something and writing down notes, and want to share that and not want to stop doing it. It's more of a mindset. So I have this mindset of I need to listen to podcasts, I need to consume content, because it's, I'm in this Web3 space and I'm learning, and I need to keep learning to keep up with everything. So I'm always writing things down, and then it's a lot easier to select what to put on next, because I have a bunch in kind of a content folder.
You have in a short-term memory, and then you just decide what you want to share with people. What came to you, you just share it to your follower base. I get you.
Exactly. And a lot of times before I'll post something, I'll be like, you know what, this isn't good. Like, I'm going to take this down, or, oh, this is stupid, or the ChatGPT image I made for this, I don't like it. So I'll shuffle through content a lot, and sometimes I'll like go back to something that I thought was bad and rework it to make it better. But yeah, I think the answer to your question is, if you have a lot of choices to choose from, if you have a lot of content and you have the mindset of I always am creating content, then it's a little less scary, because you just try something else that works in the future. And maybe that post this past week that got over 1,000 likes, 200,000 impressions, I didn't think it would do well. Another one of my top posts was it was a picture of toilet paper with Sam Bankman-Fried's face on it. I had like 300,000 people saw that. I had no expectation it would do well. So it's kind of when you least expect it, it happens. And if you're always doing it, then the chances increase.
I see. So consistency is a hard thing. What else in terms of hardness you found out which wasn't obvious for you in the beginning? Some hard things that people don't even think about them right now, maybe. Maybe they know about them, but what was the one thing that was still unobvious and creating some hurdles for you?
Yeah, I think once I started getting a little bit more followers, I posted a few things that actually offended people, and I didn't think it would happen that. I didn't think I would say anything that would offend people. It was not my intention to do something like that. And I think the thing that I learned that was hard is that the way you phrase things matters. The way you word things matters. And a lot of times, this particular example, I like to kind of trash talk big companies. I worked at Amazon. I loved my time there, but when you're one of many people at a big company, it doesn't you don't feel as special as you do it as when you're at a startup. When things are small and you do something small, but it has a big impact. And I wrote about that, and I think I might have worded it in a way that offended people who work at big companies, and that was not my intention. And I called the person up and I spoke with them and apologized that they didn't like the way that I phrased it. But yeah, that's like an example of something that was hard that I didn't think would happen to me, because I wasn't actively trying to offend anyone.
With big power comes big responsibility.
Yep, exactly.
Thanks, Glenn. It was amazing to have a conversation with you. Everybody subscribe to Glenn. I'm going to leave all the links for your social profiles, for your LinkedIn, of course, down below. And subscribe to the Web3 Sales Gym. Is going to be a good community. Glenn is going to be inside of the community. So if you want to hit him up, he's going to be there. And it was very nice for me personally, I also learned a lot from you, because I don't do that thing with planned posts. I mean, I have the consistency, but I always come up like with an empty plate. And okay, what do we do today? But
they're not planned. It's just kind of notepad. But
yeah. Like the idea you have them in the field of your mind.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Glenn. See you.